Everyone knows that the human anus serves a very specific biological function, but life, as it often does, can make exceptions. Over the years, the world has seen numerous bizarre cases involving foreign objects found in the rectum. At first thought, you might assume these are simply related to adult toys, but according to surgeons, that's far from the whole story. Doctors are used to finding cucumbers or bananas in places they shouldn't be. But when a patient shows up with a live eel or an artillery shell, it raises more than just eyebrows. It raises one big question: why? As it turns out, there's always an explanation. At least, the patients think so. Whether it's true or not, we'll let you decide. The glass bottle. At a medical center in Mississippi, doctors were stunned when a 72-year-old farmer was admitted with a glass bottle lodged in his rectum. His explanation? He was cleaning up the yard, slipped, and fell squarely onto a bottle sticking out of the ground. The impact was so direct and forceful that the bottle went straight inside. Painful, unfortunate, but apparently accidental. The potato. In another case, the main character was a 50-year-old priest. He arrived at the hospital complaining that there was a potato inside his rectum. The story he told was interesting. He said he had stripped down to hang curtains when he slipped off a ladder and landed, butt first, on a peeled potato that was sitting on the table. The impact was so precise, the potato entered his body. Doctors were skeptical, but the priest insisted there was no play involved. The mobile phone. Emergency services in the US once received a call from a man claiming he had a cell phone stuck inside his rectum. When paramedics arrived and removed the device, he explained what happened. He was a lawyer taking an important call in the shower. When the call went south, he angrily threw the phone onto the floor of the shower. At that very moment, he slipped and fell backwards onto the phone. The impact was so perfect that the phone entered without resistance. No one could have planned it, and that, he claimed, made it an accident. Buzz Lightyear. For one man, Buzz Lightyear, yes, the animated space ranger from Toy Story, triggered very unusual urges. Every time he saw the toy, he felt compelled to insert it into his rectum. One day, he did, but unlike Buzz's famous line, "to infinity and beyond," the man couldn't get Tim back. Paramedics were called and managed to remove the toy in pieces. The Coca-Cola bottle. A 60-year-old man came into an American clinic complaining of constipation. Doctors soon discovered the real cause: a Coca-Cola bottle lodged in his rectum. At first, he stuck to his constipation story, but when pressed, he gave a more elaborate version. Supposedly, thieves had broken into his home and inserted the bottle into him as some kind of twisted punishment. True or not, we'll never know. When doctors offered to call the police, the man declined, thanked them, and disappeared. Salad tongs and a vibrator. A young man arrived at a clinic with a problem. A vibrator had become lodged too deep in his rectum, but that wasn't all. According to him, he and his partner, both gay, were enjoying a romantic evening when the toy slipped too far in. Rather than panic, they tried to retrieve it using salad tongs. Unsurprisingly, the tongs followed the vibrator inside. Doctors eventually removed both items and advised them to stick to safer methods next time. The cucumber. Cucumbers in the rectum aren't unusual in emergency rooms, but sometimes the stories are. One man who grew cucumbers stored them in crates in his shower to keep them fresh. One day, while stepping into the shower, he slipped and fell and landed directly on a cucumber. The vegetable was lodged too deeply to remove, so he was rushed to the hospital. The doctors were used to it, but the man was not. The live eel. In Hong Kong, a 50-year-old man was hospitalized with severe abdominal pain. What doctors found shocked everyone. A live eel was inside his body. The man explained that he suffered from constipation and had heard that eels were a natural remedy. The idea was that the eel would eat the stool and clear him out. Unfortunately, the eel kept going, burrowing deeper, and eventually started eating his insides. Emergency surgery was required to remove the half-meter-long animal, the deterrent can. In Saudi Arabia, a 23-year-old man came to the ER with abdominal pain. An X-ray revealed a can of deodorant lodged in his rectum. Doctors prepared for removal, but as soon as they began pulling the object out, the patient panicked, pulled up his pants, and ran out of the clinic. His motives, to this day, remain a mystery. The artillery shell. And finally, one of the most dangerous cases on record. A man in London showed up to a clinic complaining of hemorrhoids. What doctors discovered was unbelievable. A live anti-aircraft shell was stuck inside him. The man said traditional treatments weren't working, so he started using the shell as a kind of plug to hold his hemorrhoids in place. One day, he pushed it too far in and couldn't remove it. The hospital had to call in bomb disposal experts who built a special containment box around the man's lower half to safely defuse the shell. Only after it was neutralized were doctors able to remove it. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss what's coming next. Take care of yourselves and each other.